The story you are about to hear is a compilation of documented true facts featuring historical characters, events, or places that has played a role in shaping history. Please sit back and listen as I recite this narrative for you. The Phantom Hitchhiker of Blackhorselake, Great Falls, Montana. While driving along Blackhorselake near Great Falls, Montana, you may want to be wary of picking up hitchhikers. On your windshield, that is. There have been many stories of the phantom hitchhikers, but this one is not your average one. Although many say they have seen this hitchhiking ghost along the road, it has gotten a little more up close and personal in an unusual way with some. What makes this haunting different is that people have reported that suddenly, a man appears on their windshield as if he had just been struck by your vehicle while driving down this stretch of road just off Highway 87 in Cascade County, Montana. Most describe the phantom as an Indian man with long black hair wearing a jeans jacket. Some say he is wearing bib overalls. However, the most common factor in the stories is that he appears on the windshield, and when you pull over and get out, he is not there and there is not a scratch on your vehicle. This same story has been reported over and over throughout the years. Many believe that this is the ghost of a transient Indian man who was wandering along the road at night and was struck by a vehicle which ended his wayfaring ways. Now he roams the road forever and relieves his terrifying end over and over. The Miniwashitu. Miniwashitu, also known as the Missouririvermonster, haunts the banks of the river as it courses through North and South Dakota. It is said that in the long ago, there was a mysterious being within the stream of the Missouri River. It was seldom seen by human beings and was most dreadful to see. It is said that sometimes it was seen within the water in the middle of the stream, causing a redness shining like the redness of fire as it passed up the stream against the current with a terrific roaring sound. Though rarely spotted by humans, any sighting of Miniwashitu ends in tragedy. Those who Miniwashitu sees and lets escape with their life are forever haunted by his horrible image and eventually go mad. They will writhe as though in a horrific pain, eventually seeking death to relieve them of their pain and insanity. And it is said that one time, not a very great many years ago, this frightful being was seen by a man, and he told how it appeared. He said that it was of strange form and covered all over with hair like a buffalo, but red in color, and that it had only one eye in the middle of its forehead, and above that, a single horn. Its backbone stood out notched and jagged, like an enormous saw. As soon as the man beheld the awful sight, everything became dark to him, he said. He was just able to reach home, but he lost his reason, and soon after that, he died. Stories of Miniwashitu predate European settlement in America, and stories are still told of him today. Miniwashitu travels upstream in springtime, breaking apart the ice on the Missouri River, keeping those who know of this monster far away from the dangerous banks. The waterbabies of Massacre Rock. Long ago, in Pocatelloidaho, there is a tragic, frightening spot that became known as the Massacre Rock State Park. A popular belief is that the Native Americans who first inhabited the area went through a harsh famine. The natives decided there wasn't enough food to feed any more people, so mothers were forced to go down to the river and drown their babies as they were born. Other variations of the myth say that this happened among a group of white settlers during the 1800s. It is said after the babies were drowned, they changed and grew fins and gills in order to survive in the water by eating small fish. People have reported seeing these water spirits playing in the canals and rivers in the Massacre Rock area. It is even said that these spirits try to lure humans to their death in order to avenge their sad fates. Nowadays, These so-called water babies still make their presence known. If you go to the banks of this river and sit for a while in silence, you will begin to hear the unmistakable sounds of babies crying. It's supposed to be the spirit of those same babies looking for their mothers. Caddy of Cadboro Bay. The Pacific Northwest is no stranger to folklore and unexplained phenomena. Its jutting mountain ranges and dense forests covered in thick moss are like a beacon for tall tales and creepy creatures. And while beasts like Sasquatch and Bigfoot dominate this particular area's mythology, a lesser known and more disturbing one swims along the shores of the Pacific coast. A reported giant sea snake lurking in these coastal waters. Nicknamed Caddy, the Cadborosaurus is essentially a 20-foot mega-serpent slithering around the northern part of the west coast. Its head mirrors that of a horse and its body like an overstuffed eel. A long row of ridges protrude from its spine. Web flippers located below the Cadborosaurus' neck and at the base of its tail allow it to glide through the dark, murky waters. In short, think twice before assuming that the slime grazing your feet is just seaweed. The Cadborosaurus isn't new to the Pacific Northwest, though. In fact, it's part of a rich folklore history in this area, garnering more than 300 eyewitnesses' accounts in the last 200 years alone. Most occurred in Cadboro Bay in Victoria, British Columbia, the bay where it takes its name from. But sightings occurred even long before that. The Inuit, an indigenous people who inhabited the northern Pacific coast, once painted the Cadborosaurus on their canoes in an effort to ward the creature off. And it's the indigenous people of the Pacific Northwest who first learned that the creature migrates to the Pacific coast when spring and summer arrive. Reports of the sea creature carried through the 1930s, when the Cadborosaurus received widespread attention after a clerk of the British Columbia legislature told the Victoria Daily Times that he and his wife saw something obscure in the water while out sailing. Major H.W. Langley described the creature they saw near the front of their boat as being a greenish-brown color. The published encounter did more than to inform the public of what might be lurking off their shores. It inspired another eyewitness to come forward about his own experience. Immediately following Langley's account, F.W. Kemp, an official at the British Columbia Archives, discussed his own sighting. According to Kemp, while he and his family were sitting on the shore of Chatham Island Beach in British Columbia, they saw an extravagantly long serpent glide across the water. Kemp estimated that it stretched more than 80 feet. The most significant account, and probably the most entertaining, occurred later that decade in October 1937. In 1937, one of the boats from a British Columbian whaling station harpooned a sperm whale several miles off the coast and brought it to shore. In the whale's stomach, workers found the carcass of a strange creature that was photographed. James Wakelin, then 24, saw the creature back in 1937. He had no idea what the creature was. The creature measured 12 feet long, with a horse or camel-like head and a snake-like body and a strange tail. The whalers sent it to a local museum, and the museum director claimed that it was a sperm whale fetus and then tossed it out. However, further examination between the picture and the picture of an actual fetus showed that they were not the same. Unfortunately, by then, it was too late as the carcass had already been disposed. Some believe that the photograph is a hoax, but that does not explain the hundreds of sightings of a caddy that have occurred in the 60 years since. Terry Osland is another eyewitness who was walking her dog down a path towards the beach when her dog became scared. Terry then saw a horse-like face looking at her, which then dropped below the water. Damian Grant and Ryan Green, two college friends, saw a strange head that came out of the water about 60 feet away that they believe was of a caddy. A pilot named James Wells claims that he saw a caddy while flying over the bay. He claims that it was an odd-looking hop-like creature and that it was moving about 40 miles per hour. Perhaps the most exciting pieces of evidence in recent times came in 2009 when an Alaskan fisherman caught what he claims to be actual footage of the Cadborosaurus. However, the stills from his shaky footage are blurry and grainy and therefore questionable.
Family of these darn things.
Last year, he shot this video of what looks like a sea monster.
Okay, just keep watching. Now watch. Its head's gonna come out. Its head's gonna pop out. Check this out.
It's blue. So those aren't sea lions. You've seen sea lions. Held up. It's got humps that are...
They're 20 to 30 feet long. They're long, skinny things.
Oh, that is no. What the heck is that?
Although some scientists claim that the creature does not exist, the people who have seen the creature are certain that the creature exists. It's still unclear whether the Cadborosaurus exists or not, but from San Francisco, California to Port Townsend, Washington, to Yakutat, Alaska, Pacific Northwesterns, still continue to spot and search for the mythical sea serpent. Hey everyone! I just wanted to express how grateful I am that you took the time to listen to my narration. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I am Twisted Mind and please enjoy the rest of your day. Salamat!